With the advent of new phones coming in with 60 fps, 90 fps, 120 fps, 240 fps, it's more important than ever to have your animations very smooth on web applications. Also, right now there are lot of frameworks and lot of web applications are developed in Angular and then deployed or seen in mobile phones. So how do we improve animations in any Angular application or any application altogether? There are a lot of ways. Let's dive into it right now. Most of the application today run on different platform which can have a different hardware and different way how CSS reacts on them. One of the crazy things which many people would know and should know is that you should never work on margin. We'll see an example today why that is the case and how you can debug your less performant code in CSS. Before we go deep into that to understand how it works and what can be done to fix it, let's just understand what is the render pipeline. A render pipeline is whenever you make any changes in the DOM for animation DOM, right? Then what stages it goes through. One of the stage is JavaScript. First it starts with JavaScript. So consider this, you have done some animation change that gets triggered from a button click or anything. That is the entry point. And from JavaScript, if you are handling all frame animation like changing the offset width or anything like that in the box model of element, then in that case the starting point again is JavaScript. You can loop through set interval where you can have a 4 millisecond interval or 16 millisecond interval or anything like that, and you can change different element, different position and stuff. Now you have to be careful, there is a performance impact also on the type of selectors you have used. Basically, the most complicated selector you have, more performance impact. Try to use uniquely identified elements on the screen for animations. Don't go ahead and write sibling and parent connection so that when style is getting calculated, when browser is spending time on calculating style, it has to go down the selector or up the selector or go through the siblings. There are a lot of consideration in JavaScript also along with that, like there is a concept called as request animation frame, which gives you it's better than set timeout or setting a set interval of 16 millisecond, because it will give you the JavaScript piece of code which runs between each animation frame, and then there you can do all calculations which you want to do for current animation frame. Now what comes into style also is, if you have changed something like height, width, anything like that, then in that case style will be calculated, after that layout will be calculated, after that composition, painting has to be done. Painting are done on layers. So you basically your website, right, whatever the web app you have, it looks like 2D image in a HTML page, but it is not. It's composited of different layers which browser creates by itself, and also you can control it by setting position absolute, and you can see Z index, you can set that. So there are multiple layers stacked upon each other, and after a layer element has been changed, that layer item is painted again and then composited back on the page. Now as I was saying, if you change something like which changes the box geometry, which changes the elements geometry, then in that case your style will be recalculated, then your layout will be recalculated, then your paint will be recalculated, and you have to repaint it everything, and then you have to again do composition again of that element. So it's one of the most expensive thing which you can do with CSS. Next few items in CSS are like paint only items, like if you change background image, or if you change text color, or if you change shadow, things like that will only impact your layout. That means it will not do style recalculation, it is not changing anything like geometry. It skips the layout calculation, it will do style, and then it goes into paint, and then it goes to composition. You skip one step here of layout calculation, that improves performance of your application. If you use something like this, is the most performant option out of we have three options. Either you change the box geometry, second thing you change something which does not require layout calculation, third thing is something that doesn't require layout calculation and doesn't require paint at all. Now you can be thinking, if you want to change position of an element for animation, is there a way where you can go around layout calculation? Yes, there is a way, and we'll see that after seeing our example on the screen. Alright, so let's start with this example which we have on the screen. Right now I have created two basic sections where we are doing margin animation with simple text and image inside it. Basically we have a div which will do margin animation, and we have another div which will do left animation, where it has position as relative and it does left animation. To just increase the complexity, I have created a array, and in array I am going to add more items if I want to from HTML through button clicks. In SCSS, what I have done is I have created two keyframes. One is for margin animation and one is for left animation, that at 0% margin left should be 0, at 100% margin left should be at 600 pixel. Then I have added few properties like box properties of height and width, the background radius. Image I have set something like to insert the image inside box, adding the animation in as a class property tag. So let's see the animation in the screen. So as you can see, right now the animation looks like this. So you can start creating a lot of blue boxes. Right now my video is recording at 60 fps, so you can see there is these animations added. Now how do I measure performance in Chrome? It's very simple actually. You just open inspector tool or developer tools, and then inside that press command plus shift plus P if you are on Mac, and if you are on Windows just press control plus shift plus P, and then type frames, show frames per second, and there you can see on the side of the screen, you can see how much FPS is this application giving. You can create more blue boxes, and you can see there is a drop in animation frames. It has dropped to 12, 10, 9, 8, it's still dropping. So we are maintaining at 9 frames per second. If I add more red boxes, it just drops. If I scroll, even if that, it gives 10 FPS performance, and it is taking a lot of GPU memory. Also we can go to a tab called performance and then simply record our profile. Whatever is happening on the screen, we can record there. If we record it, we can see lot of long tasks happening here, and we can see our FPS count is very much below. You can see there is a long time delays. Compositing layer is taking a lot of time in this case. There is an animation frame which is, I was talking about request animation frame. Then style was recalculated, then layout was recalculated, then tree was updated, whole thing was done, then paint was done for this frame, and then layers were composited together. Go ahead and see how we can reduce this animation frame time. Alright, so it's very easy. I'm just going to show a difference which most of the people must know, is that in margin animation, which is that blue box, I'm going to change it to transform. Alright, so we have changed the animation to now take transform instead of margin X, right, margin left. Now let's see how does this application fare. First we'll try to just clear this off and just see the FPS. So we have done that for a blue frame. So even if I've created a lot of them now, the frame rate is still at 30 FPS. This is a good sign. Now let's see in profile what happened here, why this frame is less. Is done. So your style is recalculated, layout is done, but composition you can see is not. Animation frame is fired, composite layer is there, but it is taking very less time. Now why composition is taking less time is, when you are writing transform, browser will create a separate layer for each element. So now when you are animating it, it is just moving the layer around. It is not anymore, it doesn't have to calculate all other positions, and while compositing it doesn't have to do lot of other checks which it was doing earlier. This reduces the load and increases animation performance. Now, how do you know which CSS property is least expensive and which will cause least amount of work? So there is a website called as CSS Trigger. This is a very simple website. In this one, you can go ahead and read about all the properties in CSS and its impact. So something which has all three colors, most expensive one. So as you can see, margin, top, bottom, left and right has all three things written in this one. Let's go to transform. So in this transform you can see WebKit and these things. Actually WebKit is saying that it recalculates, but it has some performance improvement on its own. Generally transform is less expensive. So we saw our animation frames happening here, and we saw how changing a simple CSS property can reduce the effort on system and can improve animation frame. What else can you do in your code? So there are cases when I had basically a big grid, and then I had to scroll through it, and then in that grid basically when you click the item it used to slide to left, and there I was using Angular animations which is present as router animation. So in that case I was not able to get good performance at all, like it was dropping to 1 frames per second. What I did in that case, the problem was that first of all I went to performance tab. In performance tab I saw what was taking lot of time. So one of the things which was taking time was that the grid which I was using was AG grid, and inside AG grid we were setting the column width when the grid was initialized. Consider you are moving back to grid and grid is animated to move towards left. So in that case I found that when we were setting column width, there was a for each loop written which used to check the text size of each column and then get a mean value of it, mean size of the length of items present in the column, and then set the average width. Now this looks very simple and very okay to normal person, but in this JavaScript code what was happening was when I went to performance tab and I scrolled through items, there is a red box as you saw in the performance tab which shows an error. So when I scrolled down towards the end, I saw that when we were setting width for one column, all other columns were repainted. But then again I was setting for another second column, and then again all other columns were repainted. In similar way, we were iterating through 18 columns and it was causing a lot of repaints, and that should be happening in single frame or maybe 10 frames. This thing was so jagged that I had an animation for 300 milliseconds and the frame there was just 2 or 3 frames between that. A simple fix was to know that in AG Grid all column widths can be set with a single API call, and that doesn't require to do all repaint and recalculations. So go ahead and find in your code. First of all, the major time what you should spend is in your JavaScript. I cannot debug the code right now, but I can tell you that if you go to performance tab, record your performance. First of all, you can see FPS, do your operations. If somewhere FPS is dropping, then you can go to performance tab, record at your performance, scroll through that, find items which has that red box. Something can cause recalculation of complete style of the page. Suppose you have a box which you want to move, right? And then you have lot of elements beside it. Now when you are moving the box, this causes second elements to recalculate again and again its own position and stuff. What if you can just have transform and then move it? In that case it doesn't recalculate other items, it can simply move it over a second layer and then place it to the next location. So there is the transform property, there is a way to improve through CSS, but you should also try to find in JavaScript what elements you are changing, which is causing the recalculation of everything. If possible, try to remove or try to optimize there. That will reduce or improve your performance by 90%. Next element what you should look about is what CSS property you are using. If you can improve just your CSS property, your animations will improve. I would really appreciate if you guys come here and then simply add in comment what else do I have missed. There are a lot of things, few things will go out of my mind, but yeah, I want to be honest with you, let you know that I am also a normal developer who is learning his way and creating time to create these videos every day. So just please press a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. There are a lot of coming in future, and we'll go into some things which I have worked more upon, like Angular SSR and memory leaks, and I hope that you will enjoy those too. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.